So good evening everybody, welcome to the Donny Chain Gang. We are live here and we've got loads of great action for you. We are in Yorkshire for Yorkshire Week and I'm going to be taking you through all of the action back from my home county of Yorkshire. And these roads I know intimately, pretty much every pothole, every bump, every climb, every descent, all the way around here. And we've been joined by some great guests. But as you can tell, if you're watching, slightly different in the background. And that is because this is Struggle Week. And we've teamed up with Struggle, who are based in Harrogate. And Struggle Events, of course, one of the key guys when it came to putting on the World Championships in Harrogate. And, of course, we have the course out there just waiting for us to rip it apart pretty much. And that is exactly what will happen from the go. So remember, guys, it is a group ride. Keep it together until the go. From the go. See if you can hang on to all of our professionals, including Stephen de Jong, who has joined us. Is already down on the start line. I know Connor Swift is here. We've got, I think, Ben Swift joining us as well. We've got legends like Tim Gould, who is already down on the start line as we speak. Of course, we've got Russ down in the Bear, who is with us once again. But we want to just say a little thank you to Matt Manicky and Victoria Chamberlain, the two people who head up Struggle Events. Without them, we couldn't put this week on, and it really is going to be great. We've got some great packages up for grabs for people who are members of the DCG gang. That's the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club. If you're a member, you know you get all the links directly to your inbox. And we send it to you so you don't have to find it. You don't have to join ride by ride. However, we also give you loads of great discount codes and loads of great packages. And that includes a package on lots of fantastic Struggle hats with, of course, the legend of Yorkshire across the front. And on the side, actually says Struggle on the side. So that is very appropriate for me today because it has been a little bit of a struggle. We've got to say a massive thank you to Tim Cooper, who has been doing a whole load of tech with us and has got us back on the road again. Hopefully this will be the start of continuing to ramp up the coverage that we give you of the ride. Now we've gone into Yorkshire and we are going to be out on some of my favourite courses when I was riding well. At the moment, definitely not. Let's see how it works when we go on with the gang. And I think, first of all, let's just drop in and let's get hold of Russ, who should, in theory, somewhere be on the end of the phone line. Hi, Russ. How are you doing?
Oh, good evening, mate.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, actually. I might just stop pedaling for a while so I can actually concentrate on what are you asking me?
Well, we do have a few things to ask you. First of all, are you going to actually manage to keep this ride together? Because it's absolutely mental.
I don't think I can actually answer that. You know, it's always been good fun on here on Yorkshire. Everyone likes to misbehave, but you know, everyone's getting the drill now. We know it's a ramped workout. So one lap easy, one lap squeeze in, and then one lap, go for it. Go. And who dares wins.
Definitely. And it's great to be teamed up with Matt Manicky, a man who is certainly very quick when he puts his mind to it, and occasionally a little bit too quick.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook earlier. Thinks everyone's going to give him the win just because he's sponsoring the event. But, you know, I've been riding the event for 9 months and no one's given me the win yet. So I don't know what he's thinking. But, you know, joking apart, you know, Struggle events have been great. Putting this together, you know, they've been great with some of the social behind the scenes. And, yeah, we've stuck it to Yorkshire, which we had to do, didn't we? I wasn't quite sure on that because, you know, we know it's a hard course to control, but we're going to go and have some fun. And like I said, the aim of the game tonight is punch some good stress scores out. So we kind of took it to a better course than Yorkshire. You know, everyone saw the World Championships. It was just in bits. The weather didn't help, but, you know, it's just like tonight really out there. It's absolutely teeming down now. So, yeah, maybe it'll be raining in the game when we top her off it.
Quite possibly. At the moment, it's sunny over in Zwift. It certainly is on the one that I'm watching, which is the one that goes out on broadcast, which is quite good. Worryingly, I've also got Stephen de Jong on, and his heart rate at the moment is 72 beats per minute. He's just lifted it up to 75. What's your heart rate at the moment, Russ, prior to this? Does it always lift before we sort of set off from the start line?
Well, I think you're worried about Stephen. You should worry about mine. I think it's at 65 at the minute. So yeah, I'm outdoing Stephen for once. But Stephen's just such a guy. I'm sure he's from Yorkshire. Jokes on the thing now. Whenever he was in the classics, he never wore arm warmers, never wore gloves. He was just, come on, let's race and get on with it. Yeah, he was hard as nails, and seeing him rip the world apart. And yeah, it was a privilege to work with him for 2 years at Team Sky. And we're still good friends. He messaged me earlier, can I come on the gang? I was like, mate, of course you can. He enjoyed it. I think he did the extra special, wasn't it, with when he came with Ryan Mullen?
Yeah.
And I think we even had to tell Stephen off for going so hard because he was just chomping at the bit. Belgian grit between his teeth, and he was Oski.
Definitely. I think we've got quite a lot of new riders on, so I think they are definitely going to need to understand how it works. Remember, of course, it's not all the guys at the front, is it? And we've got riders on the Downing Cycling and Struggle events coaching plans, because we've got a coaching plan partnership with them, haven't we? And it's been really good to see some of those riders joining us tonight.
Yeah, we've teamed up with Struggle since start of the year, and then we've come up and they've supported Downing Cycling and supported the chain gang. So yeah, it's been great. And yeah, Tom Townsend's the guy building programs there, and he's even doing some one-on-one coaching with some of the guys for the Struggle events. And yeah, it's been a great success, and I think it's going to be a good relationship for the future.
Definitely, and of course, for those riders who do get dropped, which is basically anybody who isn't a pro, should have been a pro, has been a pro, or is going to be a pro. If you do get dropped, key is find a group and ride as a group, isn't it? Because it's so much quicker.
Yeah, you'll see. What we're trying to do here, trying to educate people how to ride Zwift. And if you get dropped, just have a look at your top right on the screen and see where there's some riders coming up, and spin your camera angles if you can see people coming up from behind, and squeeze on as they get to you, and you'll find a wheel, and you'll get deeper into the ride without actually burying yourself. And
that's it. It's designed to go faster and faster as we get there. So not everybody will make it to the go, but the watts per kilo are critical for everybody, aren't they? That is the numbers that we're watching out for. To stay round the yellow is the simplest instruction. Hopefully everybody's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, I try and stay really controlled now and don't move from the numbers quoted on the screen, and it's kind of calmed everyone down. And if I do have to surge up to the front, I try and do it nice and steady now, so people don't hit the panic button and use the power up in the first part of the ride. But it sounds like it's going to be a good one tonight.
I think so, and we're going to let you go do the instructions. And we're going to show everybody on the maps and the profiles where we're heading out and around Harrogate. So thanks very much, Russ. We may well drop back in on you in a little while.
Oh yeah, give me a bit of warning so I can actually breathe and think and open my eyes and ears. It's going to be a tough one.
I can't promise that. We'll see. See you later, Russ. So thank you very much to Russ there. We are going to go across to the course intro. And the course intro, we're in Yorkshire. We're on the 2019 UCI World's Harrogate Circuit. Our yellow beacon is Russ Downing, and the red beacon is Andy Singleton. Andy is a really experienced rider. He's really good when he's on Zwift, and he makes a great red beacon. He's going to ride about 2 to 2.5 watts per kilo, and that means that you can jump in with him, and he should be able to hold that pace reasonably well. He will have people helping him out. Lots of our regular people, part of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, people in the gang, will be there trying to pull people back in and help out. It really is a group ride, and that's what keeps it together up to the point of the go. Once we get to go, well, let's see. It's pretty much Top Gear rules for everybody at the front, for everybody at the back. It's about getting into the end as soon as possible. Don't forget, we will finish on the top of the circuit on the UCI Worlds banner. We don't go all the way to the blue banner, so if you're an experienced Swifter used to events that roll to a blue banner randomly somewhere, we don't. We finish on a fixed point. It means that we've got a great finish for you. It's the same as the Worlds. And in this course, we have a leading of 0.1k. We've got 3 times around the world circuit of 13.8k. And that means that we can then finish at that banner at about 41.5. And that will give you 1.5 to warm down. We always include that warm down just because people don't do it. They jump off and then wonder why they can't walk the day after. We've all done it. Not a good move. So the aim is that you keep on riding and moving your way through. You don't want to be struggling on the day after. So let's show you what that looks like in real life, which means that I'm going to disappear off out of here. And let's bring you the map. This is from Swift Insider. This fantastic map shows you the circuit. And as you can see, the little blue dot rolling its way around the circuit. Now, we start off in the chevron pens. We come out and take a right-hand turn through the orange dot. That's the start-finish line. We take a right turn. It's a long, draggy, bumpy circuit with sharp right turns, steep descents on the way round. And then a small finishing circuit as well. We do have a sprint and a King of the Mountains. And the odds are we're going to ignore those because, to be honest, they're pretty meaningless taking those if you aren't the guy on the front when you come to the end and you blow your socks off early, which is what a number of our riders have a bit of doing. They will learn one day. So let's show you what that looks like, courtesy of the wonderful people down at VeloViewer. VeloViewer, great resource for pro teams alike. As everybody knows, if you want to get yourselves the best info, make sure you go on to VeloViewer. You can get the pro subscription. It's only about £10 for the year. Make sure you go on there, join up. You get all of the details that you can adjust the map. You can look at the profile. You can check out the stats, the courses, the King of the Mountains, the Queen of the Mountains. All the detail is on there. Now, we start off, it's in the same orientation. As you can see from that start, we've got a right-hand turn and a long drag before a drop down and another riser. And that's going to be really difficult. So the aim is pull it together. Let's get blocked up together. Super, super smooth. This is really, really important that everybody pulls it tight together. Left side of the profile, you'll see there's a big blue section. That is the descent down Pot Bank. You then got a long drag up, and that takes you right the way up to what is now going to become known as Struggle Corner. It's the corner of Penny Pot Lane, and we'll point it out when we get there. Penny Pot Lane, of course, is the key point for lots of people when they head out and around on the reliability trials, on the Yorkshire Division Road Race, on loads of the rides, and lots of the struggle rides as well. So key point, and we'll show you exactly where that is on the way around. Now, our riders are just looking like they are starting to make their way out from the pen, so we are going to drop in, probably try and find the man himself, Russ Downing, to jump in with on the way through. I think Tobin Horton is with us as well. There's quite a plethora of riders in here, but we'll just see who we're going to drop in with first of all. It may well be it is going to be Joey Walker. Let's see if we can get ourselves in with Joey. So let's take a look at what's happening out on circuit, and looks like we're just in with Joey at the moment, and it looks to me like the riders out on circuit. So as you can see, our rider's just taking the first of the right-hand turns on that map view on the right-hand side of your screen. And this is going to take them along the long drag. So let's see how they're getting on. We're just in with Joey at the moment. And what we're going to do, we're going to get up in the air, courtesy of our fantastic drone cam, and give ourselves a little bit of a spin, take a little bit of a look up at the road. Now, if you're new to Zwift, one of the things you'll find out is very quickly you'll understand that there is only 100 riders shown on your screen. So although we've got nearly 300 riders out on course, in fact we're over 300 riders, you will only see the 100 riders geographically nearest to you. Now you can see our red beacon is on the back. That is Andy Singleton, the man who's dreaming of Mallorca. However, this is the nearest he's going to get, out on the Costa del Betis Cafe. And as you can see, Russ nicely ensconced in a big group of riders here in the yellow, with the yellow chevron over the top. If you look top right hand side of the screen, you can see the numbers ticking along at the moment, showing 3%, and that will change as we move the screen through, so that will give us a vertical, a dead drop down view up close. We can zoom right the way out, and you can see we're on that long drag at the moment that's across the bottom of the map view, and then we can go into the 3D view, and this is really handy for getting a good idea of where gantries are coming up, where the finish is. Top left hand side of the screen, what's first of all the big number on the blue box, and at the moment Joey Walker is kicking out 235 watts. His revs per minute, his cadence 83 revs per minute, and his heart rate currently at about 115. Centre of the screen, speed 27 kilometers an hour, covered 1.2k, 23 meters of climbing already covered, and this is a big course because we've got 720 meters all the way round. 2 minutes 49 up and riding. And you'll see we're watching Joey, the right hand side on the long drop down. That drop down there, that gives you who we're riding with, and at the moment Joey's name highlighted in the blue. Remember, the aim is to sit around the yellow beacon. The aim is to keep this nice and steady on the way up, and I think Joey's likely to be telling people to keep themselves in order tonight. So let's drop in with Russ, our yellow beacon, the bear himself. And here he is. As you can see, loads of people all the way around Russ at the moment. And again, we can drop up in the air. Now, Russ in one of the least tasteful kits in Zwift, the fluo camo. And at the moment, Russ are looking like he's keeping it smooth. It's not even colour coordinated to his lovely Pinarello he's riding. That's not like Russ. Needs to have a word with the cool older brother, who is a little bit older. Happy birthday, Dean, whose birthday was in the week. A little bit older, 21 plus a little bit, on his gov. So at the moment our rider's sitting in there, and just seen near the back, Slowmass is in here. That is the female rider who took a top female spot, the first woman over the top of the volcano finish. As we went up on to the volcano finish out on the course. And remember, of course, it's all about keeping it together, to sit in with that group, to sit in with the pack, and looking pretty smooth at the moment. The red beacon sitting in there as well. So as you can see, the map showing you where we're at. We're still on that long drag, so this gives you an indication of just how long this climb is. We're still about a quarter of the way, if you see on the right hand side of the screen. So let's get you a little bit further into the action, and let's drop in with the ride itself. So here we go into Struggle Week here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Here with me, Matt Payne, bringing you all of the action from out on the course. Our riders out and riding. We're in with the bear himself, the yellow beacon. That is Russ Downing, and the riders are just streaming past on this long drag up towards the top. Currently 5% incline, and we can tell that because it's just up on the top right hand side of the screen as the beacon rolls its way past, and motoring sort of way up there. So remember, the guys are working well on the way up towards the top of the course. We are going to work our way through. I think Crosscast Neil is here. And it was great to work with Neil last night. We're going to work our way through this group because there's quite a lot of riders here. Neil and I with Bruce Dalton are recording the Crosscast, the Cyclocross podcast, and it's a World Champs special. And it was great to be on there. Don't forget, you can get yourselves on and pick up the quiz, see if you can do better than us with your predictions on there, and you can get the Crosscast, the Cyclocross podcast, on pretty much any of the formats that you get podcasts on, and that is everything from iTunes to Spotify and similar. Now, just working our way through these riders, and it looks to me like it is pretty busy in there. Mason Hollyman just sitting in this group now. Mason, a man to watch out for. We're going to get up in the air and get a quick look at Mason. Mason, a very fast rider, man capable of taking victory, and we're going to see just how smooth he's going. And just on this little descent halfway along, if you remember that profile, you can see at the moment it's a 9% descent, and that is making things a little bit stretched out already. It certainly winds the course up at the moment, and as you can see, the guys are well strung out here behind the yellow beacon. moment. You can just hear the road noise. We're just going to drop up in with our helicopter just up above, and at the moment it's certainly looking like it's well stretched out at the moment. That section just stretching this group out. We're going to try and drop back a little bit. We're going to try and find the back of the group at the moment. Easier said than done, it has to be said, because there are quite a lot of riders out and about on course, and there's a lot of riders just sitting behind Russ here. And we're just working our way back. You can just see the two pillars of light just disappearing up into the distance. Just in with Crosley and just looking for Lucy Heseltine-James. Here's Lucy. So Lucy Heseltine-James out on course, looking pretty smooth here, standing in and stealing Chris's spot. Don't let him back, Lucy. We don't really need him here on the ride. So let's take a little bit of a look. Looks like Lucy Heseltine-James, one of the riders who's joined us on the Women's Wednesdays in the house today, out on course. And it looks like White is just behind. So White just coming through, one of our later starters, I think. So Andrew White from the Army team just moving up towards the front, and Lucy at the moment pushing nearly 3 watts per kilo, just being distanced. That pack is moving incredibly quickly already, despite Russ's calls for 2.5 watts per kilo. That is about par for the course, it has to be said. Every now and then people don't listen. It's one of those things. But what we do say, don't worry about it. There's always going to be a group. There's going to be a group that will form in this group. It looks like Caroline Mansfield from Pretty Gritty Clothing just in front, and I would imagine she's going to be seeing plenty of company around her at the moment. It looks to me like there's at least 30 seconds to the back of the main group, but you can see there's a group about 11 seconds up the road. So let's have a little bit of a look. So Crosley at the moment just here in with this group. So it looks like Hobson and Crosley, Finch just in front here, and Mitchell as well. These guys are just working to get on with the group. They've just taken that right hand turn, which will take them down towards the bigger descent of Pot Bank, and it is a sharp right hand turn here. So what you're going to find, a long drag and then a steep descent, followed by a steep descent, and the Pot Bank downhill, part of the Yorkshire Division Championships. One of my favourite road race courses in the world ever. Great fun to ride, really brutal, and I absolutely hate it and I love it simultaneously. You drop down what is a really techy descent, and once you drop down that descent it gets very, very quick indeed, and then you go up the other side and you could really rip people's legs off, because it was steep to start off with and then you would have a long drag. So anybody who wasn't good at going uphill really had a hard time. Now we're going to just drop in with a few more of these riders who are just behind on here, and at the moment Crosley just trying to make his way across, which means that we are going to move in. Now we mentioned Caroline Mansfield, so let's see if we can just drop in with Caroline. Here we go. So Caroline Mansfield is the CEO of the clothing business that is Pretty Gritty, sustainable cycling clothing, and fantastic stuff, and looks very, very smooth on her way through here. Currently pushing 2.7 watts per kilo. Got Finch and Foxy around, so Foxy just behind, and Foxy just in front there. You can just see the rider just diving down. You can actually see the yellow beacon already down through the descent, but we'll sit in here with Caroline, and this is Caroline's view as she comes down. You can see this is a really quick descent. It feels like this in real life, and people do come off the edge, although it doesn't look quite the same as that. We don't have quite the same gorge as you come down Pot Bank and start the climb up. Now this is the long climb, and if we work our way up towards the group in front, we're going to get ourselves up. So Foxy just in front of Crosley here, Hobson in here, Foxy in this group here. So another of our regulars on the women's chain gang are pushing out the watts per kilos here, up at 3 watts per kilos. A little bit further up the road it's about 8 seconds. I think Johnny Lightfoot is at 2 seconds, so let's just jump in with Johnny. The time gaps are a little bit deceptive here. So Johnny Two Dogs, Johnny Lightfoot, a very experienced rider, one of the riders we've had on the chain gang for a long time, and good to see him here. Looks like Grant in here as well, Mark Grant, another of our new regulars, and very quickly becoming a regular Sat in here as White tries to push on up towards the front. At the moment, Grant looking good and keeping those revs nice and smooth, 64 revs per minute. Now Andy Caldwell just in front, Andy Singleton, looks like Chris Gale just up the road here, just riding in with Chris at the moment. And Chris sitting here nice and comfy, riding in as we come up towards the turn. And this turn up in front is forever now going to be known as Struggle Corner. And that is because the Struggle HQ is up to the left as we go diving down to the right. This is where the old Army Apprentice College is, for those of you that know the roundabout well. And as you head left, you head on to Pennypot Lane, the infamous Pennypot Lane that has seen plenty of people's legs get ripped off on everything from the reliability rise to the divisional championships, right the way around to international races as well. So down we go, and we're going to take the right hand turn here. And if we take a little bit of a look across towards Struggle HQ, you can see the riders coming round Struggle Corner. No longer Squirrel Corner, it is going to be Struggle Corner, and the riders now descending down in towards Harrogate. So we're just going to jump up towards some more riders hanging around about the Yellow Beacon. We always feature the Yellow Beacon back from the Yellow Beacon back, basically to discourage people from diving off the front. One man who has a habit of diving off the side, Mike Killingsworth, and Mike is just here in the blue Union Jack flag. Mike, the sidecar passenger, a very active passenger on the sidecar duo that go out and race around the Isle of Man, and certainly looking very, very good. So looks at the moment just diving down the hillside here. Mike Killingworth coming in to these turns. Let's jump in with Mike and take a little look at his avatar diving through here. And we're down in with the group. Looks like Dickinson closing down on the back here, taking that left-hand turn. And this is the start of the official KOM. However, what you'll find is that we don't need to contest that, and that's quite simply because as we make our way around Harrogate, the aim is there to keep everybody together. Remember, stay with the Yellow Beacon. You don't need to go too far in front of the Yellow Beacon. We're going to have a little bit of a flick up through the road. In with Tim Howcroft. Tim from Otley CC, a local man out on the course around here, or local as it gets in terms of riding at the moment. Good to see Tim out on the Struggle events ride. He's a man who is more than capable of putting in a good time out on the circuit. Mark Swift in around as well, just watching these riders go up. Looks like Nick Rudkin going up the hillside. Stephen de Jong is sat in here. Mark Swift is in here as well. Young Mr. Kettering is in, and now this is a youngster who we know is going to be in with a good chance as we work our way out and round circuit. And you can see at the moment Kettering looking very, very comfortable here. Comfortable and smooth, the phrases that we use a lot on the way up through this circuit and on the ride. It's all about being smooth in terms of revs, keeping the power consistent and sitting in the wheels. That is what will give you a very quick ride, but one that will get quicker and quicker. We keep on producing fastest times, PRs. We keep on producing best times through sections, and the aim of doing it is to get everybody a fastest time. Apparently, according to Russ, it's called controlled. My idea of control and his are two very different things. I'm not sure how Russ keeps his cool, but he does it admirably out on the circuit. But looks like it is just about holding together. Let's jump in with Russ and see if we can just get him out up on the screens in a second. We're just in with John Finney. John from the start, and one of our regular riders, and a rider that we know is always going to be there to help out. Just seeing Matt Bostock is out on course. We may have to dive into him before we get across to Russ. So Matt Bostock, a man to watch out for in that Canyon jersey and the Canyon DHB kit here, and a man who knows the roads of Yorkshire very well. You can just see the red beacon coming up behind. Now remember, you're only seeing 100 of the 300 riders on screen. The aim is to have all 300 basically mobbing Russ. It's all piled on top of Russ. He's only a little fella. Give him a squidge. So it looks like our beacon has got a group behind, which is good to see. Looks like Mr. Singleton picking up a pack of riders. We're going to just drop in with Andy at the moment. I think Russ is just going to have to wait. They're just going to have to sit tight for the moment. We're just in with Andy Singleton now, and as we take a look in at Andy in his traditional red jersey, Andy a fast rider, but at the moment one of those riders who we know is going to be more than capable of riding at the front if he needs to, just sitting in that. And it looks like as those times just start ticking through, not too many people going too silly on the climb up. You can just see the Yorkshire KOM here. The women's fastest time is currently Kim Baptista with a 3:38 it is, and just running ahead of Jarvis, Taylor, looks like Hobbs, Collier in here as well. Looking back across, I know that the fastest time up there was not set by anybody who came across at the very front of the group. These guys, if they're pushing on that fast, they know that they're going to be a long way in front of the yellow beacon. They're going to find themselves in trouble and no doubt get just a pasting as we come in towards the finish. Just taking a little bit of a look in at Andy Singleton, just taking this group up. It looks like he has got a few riders tucked in there. Andy Caldwell is definitely in here. Looks like Foxy, Mitchell, Gale in here. Johnny Two Dogs sat a little bit further back at the moment, and Finch the same. It's already been a fast ride with plenty of people being distanced at this stage, and at the moment we're just watching Finch coming up towards the line. This is the King of the Mountains top. We're going to go flying up forwards to Mr. Singleton, our red beacon, as he starts to make his way down the circuit, and we're going to see there is a sharp left-hand turn coming up. If we keep flying our way through the circuit, we're going to get in towards that corner very, very fast indeed. We'll go in with Andy Horse, one of our regular riders. Horsey, a man who soon gets a group with him, and if we drop in with Andy looking very, very good today, and lightweight, a man who used to have a custom-made set of scales for him to stand on, has lost so much weight now he needs a little digital one that you'd use for baking. So take the left-hand turn up onto the next loop, and again it kicks in. 6% coming up the climb here. Just sitting in with Andy, and it looks like he's got David Hopkinson, Sonia Inslee in here. David Hopkinson, one of the riders who joined us about halfway through the year, and as you can see, lots of people behind Andy here. Plenty of people up in front, and if you look at the top right-hand side of the screen, lots of dots, lots of riders strung out in one long line behind Russ, our yellow beacon. And remember, of course, we consider the front to be where the yellow beacon is. So let's work our way up. We're just past Richard Beatty. Looks like Ethan Grimshaw riding in with this group, just sitting behind. Looks like, I think, is this Claire James? Claire James doing a great ride here, and sitting in with this pack. Andy Manier's in here, a little bit closer to our beacon. Rob Carling is back in. Looks like Andy Verrill is back with us as well. This is where it gets a little bit tricky for us to jump in with Russ. We try and go forwards, and we have a habit of going backwards if we're not careful, as these riders go around these turns. Now this is coming up is the traditional sprint line. That sprint line is not one that we're going to contest, quite simply because we don't need to. We're going to be looking for the actual finishing line itself in a little while. So just working up, just picking a few of our riders as we head up towards where Russ is out on the circuit, and just jumped in with Russ now. So let's take the helicopter view up above, and we're going to try something that's never worked before on the Donny Chain Gang, because it's struggle week. Hopefully this won't be a struggle. Hopefully Russ isn't breathing too hard. Checking his heart rate before we go across to him. Are you there, Russ?
I made it.
It looks a little bit quick out there at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just it's been a red card for Ken Dawson's son for sprinting off.
We'll get Kev to have a word with him, shall we?
Kev probably told him to do it, so we messaged Darryl Clark last week, so Ollie Dawson can have a red card as well.
We can block him if you really want, but I'm sure he'll probably learn his lesson anyway. We're just keeping an eye on your beacon as we come in towards the right hand turn to take you back towards the centre of town. It's a tough circuit, isn't it? And it certainly strings the group out very easily. It's very easy for it to get broken up, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite happy actually. They are being pretty well behaved. I've had to squeeze over the numbers a few times, to try and control it, but I'm not moving far from that. So we'll get across the finish line in a bit, and we'll look at 3 watts per kilo, but still trying to look after everyone and get them through that one lap. And,
very good, very good. Well, we're going to let you get back to it. Your heart rate's already climbed up just with us talking to you, trying to breathe, type and ride, and you've got a nice pack of riders around you at the moment, which is good. Looks like Bryce Smithies in there, pretty much glued to your back wheel at the moment.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier. He said he went out for a run, so he wasn't sure how he'd be on this, but obviously he's in good shape, so...
Yeah, it certainly looks to be riding pretty smooth. And Mason Hollyman with us. Hollyman's got to be one of the favourites when it gets a little bit spicy after the trigger point and you pull the plunger.
Yeah, he's in good shape. He's in a bit of a rescue thing, so he won't be going there. I've got to go. I've got Connor Swift wanting some inside information. Darren messaged me. Shall I ignore it?
Excellent, well, we might come back to you towards the end. Russ, good luck, mate.
Cheers, mate.
So good to hear from Russ out on the circuit. We're now on the way up towards the finishing gantry. We're going to roll in and through with 1 or 2 riders. Let's pick some random riders around here. That's quite simply because it allows us to get a good view and give somebody a moment or two of fame. You can just see the gantry coming up in the distance. That's the UCI World's Gantry, and that's the one that we look for when our riders are coming into the very, very finish. These guys on the way up here just sitting in with Russ, and at the moment just in with Greenway. So as we ride up here with Greenway at the moment, we're just going to be on this little drag. It's 2% and it is horrible in real life. I've ridden this road more times than I care to remember, and it is just a long, nasty drag. Steep at the start, then it just gets draggy all the way in and through, and pretty brutal, to be fair. Not my favourite bit of road, nor my favourite bit of tarmac in Yorkshire. However, it is in Harrogate, which is an absolutely stunning place to be, and as you know, the home of Struggle Events, who are with us here for the whole of the Struggle Week. And don't forget, if you are watching and you're riding live as well, don't forget that you can win on each ride a men's and a women's ride at a struggle event of your choice. What you have to do is go onto social media, to go onto Facebook, onto Instagram, tag Struggle Events or Downing Cycling, DONNYCHAINGANG on there, and put on there the ride summaries. When you get to the end of a Swift, at the end of the ride, it'll give you a ride summary. It'll tell you how hard you've worked, and it'll tell you your TSS score. Key part of coaching, and that's something that the Downing Cycling and Struggle coach riders will know all about, and that TSS score is what we're looking for. So make sure when you get to the end of the ride that you get yourselves a picture of that. Show us what those TSS scores are. Post it up on Facebook or on Instagram. Put it onto the DONNYCHAINGANG Facebook page. If you haven't joined it, why haven't you joined it? Best resource known to man, a great way to get loads of information about how to ride the chain gang, what's going to happen in it, who is going to be riding strongly, how to get some tech support on the way through. It is one of the most important resources that we have. There's currently just shy of 2,000 members on there, and those members are very, very good at looking after everybody. And as you can see, the group here, as we drop back from Russ, is starting to split up. We knew it would on this circuit. We knew it was a tough circuit, and there's plenty of people already starting to find that it is stringing out. We're just taking a look up the row. Plenty of people up in front and plenty of people behind. It looks like Andy Hall's already starting to form the Hawes' gang. behind Andy Hawes. Very key in the running of the Tour of Britain, and working on, of course, on the Tour Series, the Women's Tour for Sweet Spot. Behind this group, which is Hawes, Topless, Johnson, Inslee, we've got the next one, looks like Gagan in this next group on the road. Remember, it's about riding together as a group, guys. If you work together, you will go much quicker. And looks like Hurren, Grant and Gagan are in here. Martin Bolt currently at about 4 seconds behind, and we're going to just take a little bit of a zoom up into the sky. You can just see behind our riders plenty more riders coming on. So remember, it's about finding a group and keep on pushing on. We're going to drop back a little bit down to Hammond and Bolt. So Hammond and Bolt on the way up through here. We're just going to take a look at Eads just here. He's got a nice group here. This is what we like to see. So looks like he's in here. He's got Shelley Charles in here, Paul Dickinson, I think it is, Clark's in here, Sam Street's in here. These guys are picking up riders on the way through as well, and it's about jumping into a group. So if you do find a group come up to you, put your foot down, jump into that group. You can see on your screen and Mike Killingsworth just taking a look, wanting to know where Andy Hawes is. Lots of the riders get into regular groups who they ride with week in, week out, and that really is critical. Now we're just going to drop back a little bit further. This is at a fair way back from that group. It's about 20 seconds up the road. Looks like Chris Pritchard, Dre's in here. Looks like McConville as well, not too far off. And again, this could form a very handy group. You can just see that red beacon coming behind here. Andy Singleton, Wade, Andy Caldwell in there. Looks like Barton not too far away, and it is all about getting those groups together. Now we're just going to drop back. This is our red beacon group, and the aim trying to hold it all together is Mr. Singleton, who is in here and looking really good at the moment. This is a nice group he's got on board here. If we get up in the air above, you'll be able to see. Let's see if they can work their way up to the top, and then take a little bit of a look back. This is a tough week, and remember, this is a big, long climb out of Harrogate. We're just going to take a little bit of a drop back here, and you can just see, just in with Shepherd, and plenty of riders behind. It looks like Taylor from Bolsover, Crosley and Finch. Let's drop it in with the riders at the back, and take a little bit of a view up towards the front. Certainly looking like plenty of riders on board. Just jumping in with Finch at the moment. And Finch is in here. Still got plenty of riders. I think Kuzak and Johnny Two Dogs about 29 seconds down. And this duo, they are both fast riders. But remember, lots of our riders will go out and ride a comfortable ride on the DONNYCHAINGANG. Take advantage of having plenty of riders around them. So we take a little bit of a look up the course. But we are going to work our way back up towards a certain Mr. Downing with a bit of luck. So in we jump with Russ at the moment, and Russ at the head of the Downing Cycling riders out on the chain gang, and Russ just ticking along. I think just putting in a little bit of a push here to keep some control on the front of this group. Looks like he's got company, Steve de Jong, right on his wheel. We're just taking a little bit of a look up the road. There's still plenty of riders in front, plenty of riders behind, and if we go up in the air, that's a long string of riders. Remember, there's about 200 riders behind the view that you see at the moment. So these roller coasters, it speeds up on the way down, and then it gets very, very tough as you go up the climb. So it tends to compress together. As you can see on the uphill sections, it strings out on the downhill sections. Remember, guys, the aim is to ride with the yellow beacon. Anybody going off on the front on the suicide mission gets a full-on don't be a muppet. We have named and shaped riders before in proper Yorkshire manner. If you're going to be a plonker, we'll get ourselves up there and we'll call it out, don't you worry. So our riders now starting to get pulled back towards Russ up on the front, and remember, we have only 300 riders. There's 200 already on here, and remember the descents at the moment. There are comments, they are harder than the climbs, and that is definitely true if you're a lightweight rider. A lot of our female riders and a lot of our younger riders really do struggle when it goes downhill. They can't put out the same watts per kilo and the same watts at the same time. It basically, if you're a big rider and you weigh 100 kilos, the flat and the downhills are going to be really easy. If you are a lightweight rider, you're going to go up the hills a lot easier. So somebody like Gareth Mason, who is, say, for example, 100 kilos, puts out 4 watts per kilo. He's doing 400 watts. That is absolutely motoring on the flat or on the downhill. If you get yourselves a lightweight rider who's maybe 50 kilos, which some of our riders are, they do 4 watts per kilo. They're doing 200 watts. It's only half what some of our bigger riders will be putting out, and that is not good news when it comes to the flat or the downhill. So let's take a little bit of a roll back. We are going to work our way back through this pack, and as you can see, we're just taking the right hand turn again. We've done 1 complete lap. We're on to lap number 2. Just in with John Garfoot at the moment. John, another of our regular riders, and great to see that he is sitting in this group. He's sat behind Russ. Just seeing Harley Hobbs in here, Matt Gleedle's in here, Smales in here, Ellis, Hollyman in this group. Looks like Mr. Coleman's in here, Greenaway's in here, Bradley Atkinson holding in this group, Ethan Grimshaw is in here. And Grimshaw at the moment just losing the wheel or two here. They've got to keep pushing on. This is the back of the Yellow Beacon group, and at the moment, as you can see, these riders are continuing to come in from the back of the group. Radcliffe, Cummings, Hind, and just going to drop in with Hind at the moment. He's just on the back of this group. We're coming up towards the big descent. If you take a look at the top right hand side of the screen, you're going to see it is going to get really, really interesting, that is for sure. So we're just in with it Cummins at the moment, who is just dropping down this hillside at the moment, and as you can see, it's going to get really, really quick. We're already at 79 kilometers an hour, and we're down into the key section of this descent. And at the moment, Cummings flying 94 kph at the moment, so just fast approaching 60 kph. Sorry, 60 miles an hour on that descent, but we're now up onto the climb, and this is where it gets really, really tricky, because of course you go down and then you're on to the climb, and we see now it is definitely getting pretty mental. 95k from Russ, 95 kph on that last lap. We're going to see if anybody can top that 100k mark. It's a bit of a landmark in anybody's Swifting life, it has to be said. Just in with Seb Gridley here. Seb, of course, one of the very fast riders we know, a really quick rider from the northwest, sitting in with this bunch. Looks like Sarah Lomas still in there. It looks like Stuart McInnes. We've just seen Dan Coleman moving up towards the middle of this pack. It is definitely really tough stuff. So remember, the aim here is for 3s, not 4s. We're just trying to drop back towards where Russ is. Let's get up in the air and let's set that helicopter up at the moment. Now, just coming up towards Struggle Corner, we're going to take a little bit of zoom out so you get a good idea on the map. As you can see, we're going to take that right hand turn, and this is Struggle Corner coming up. It is a very busy part of the world if you're a bike rider, because there's lots of great roads to ride. It's a great place to ride, and if you want to get the best of it, don't forget, of course, you can join one of the rides out from Struggle HQ, Struggle Dales, going on Sunday the 23rd of May, and some fantastic climbs in there. It's 108 miles and that's 174k, climbing 2,800 meters. And it is a pretty brutal ride, it has to be said. And remember, Struggle Dales, one of the absolute classics for the rise out from Struggle HQ. And at the moment, it looks to me like plenty of these riders are having a good ride around the corner here. Plenty of tough climbs. Remember, we have Hartworth, Greenhow, we climb up through Malham over Park Rash, and then back over Trapping Hill, and 2 stoops on the way back into Harrogate. Horrible, brilliant ride. Truly masochistic. I think Matt was clearly having a grump on that day when he designed that route. Don't forget, of course, if you like Yorkshire, then you'll love the Yorkshire Moors, the North York Moors, home to Struggle Moors. That's on the 4th of July, and that's 180k, so a little bit further, 3,100 metres, so even more climbing. that starts at the absolutely gorgeous Ampleforth Abbey, and that is going to head out from Ampleforth. You've got the wonderful climb of Boltby Bank. My brother actually put stretch marks on his legs climbing up Boltby Bank. True story. True story is that. On to Carlton Bank, home of the National Hill Climb a few years ago. That's where, when I rode up that in the National Hill Climb, I ended up looking through a thumbnail of vision. It was black round the edge. That was shortly before I fell off the bike. That was after the finish line, fortunately. I think I was 45th up that hill climb that day. As you can see, the roads just coming down and in. A typical Yorkshire abbey, in not quite in the real place it is in real life, but you know, we're not going to knock that because there's plenty of Cistercian abbeys on the way round Yorkshire, including out round Revo Abbey. And we go very close to Revo on the way round, because of course we go down the Côte de Gros one, around towards Glaisdale Horror Pass, Rosedale Abbey, and up Rosedale Chimney before dropping back down into Ampleforth Abbey. It's a hilly route, and if you want to win a ride on any of these struggle events, don't forget you can win both today and on Thursday a ride of your choice if you get picked out. And what you need to do is you need to be in the running. To get in the running, send us a picture of the summary of your ride, including the TSS score. If you're a regular Swifty, you'll know what I mean. And the aim there is to show us just how tough your ride was. If you do that, then we will be having a look, checking it out, make sure that you tag Struggle Events or the Donny Chain Gang. Put it up on Facebook, put it on Instagram. If in doubt, find the original post and tag it as a reply to that. And we will be looking for the riders who have worked the hardest. And that's not going to be, I think, the people who win. Remember, the aim of this is to give everybody a great workout. And as Russ says, the aim is to find the yellow beacon. So we're just going to drop into the sky, and as you can see, these riders sitting in with this group, they can see that yellow beacon in front. If you're a little bit further away, it's a great big pillar of yellow light. It's not rocket science. Gary Licence knows the score. Gary, fast becoming another of our regular riders on the Donny Chain Gang. And this on the climb up is one of the slight eases. It's a little bit steps, and it actually steps where the mini roundabout is on the way up. If you ever have to race this on a Zwift race rather than a ride like this, it's always critical to know exactly where that is, because it's going to really jelly your legs as you go over it. As you can see, the back of the group are looking pretty broken up, and we have a lot of riders scattered out and around circuit. Andy Singleton, our red beacon, not by no means the last rider on the road, at 3 minutes 28 behind Gary Licence at the back of this bunch. And it looks like Kirkham and Cummings at the moment just drifting off the back. So 3 riders just a little adrift. It's only a couple of seconds at the moment, but they do need to try and close that down. Chowdhury just holding the back of that group. Looks like Boothkirk also sitting on the back of that group as well. Wallace is in there, Ambrose is in there. Everybody needs to be on the way up in to the gantry. They don't want to let those wheels go, and you can see Licence here pushing on to get back in to that group. If those sort of gaps go, it's so difficult to get back on, particularly as you come over the top. If you watch this group, if they're in and around Russ, you're all right. If there's a gap, our riders know that they will find themselves in trouble as they go diving down the other side. So just seeing Nick Rudkin on the back of this group. Looks like Wallace, Swift, Payne, Chowdhury, Boothkirk, and Mason's in here as well. And good to see Mason riding so strongly as we go up over the top. Now we need to keep an eye on how the guys are getting on as they come around this corner. And as you can see, those gaps really do open up. It really does string out, and that is because the speed is increasing really, really quickly indeed. And we're going to just jump down in with Russ once again, as people send brand new personal best up the climb, one after the other. We're back in with Russ. So Russ just reminding people that if they don't behave, we won't let them go. We have done rise to the finish without releasing the go. We have, in fact, even pulled the commentary and the coverage as well. It has been done. We have called people out. We haven't yet knocked on anybody's door. It might actually happen. It wouldn't be the first time, it wouldn't be the last time that I've knocked on somebody's door to have a little word with them. One of the advantages of being an ex-racing bike rider is that you can put your 85 kilos to good use. I'll make that nearer 100 with Steely's on. Right, red beacon working hard behind the yellow beacon group, well packed together at the moment. Everybody trying to get back in to one big pack. The aim, of course, is to stay around this man, the bear, the yellow beacon. If people say they can't see the yellow beacon, then they're riding with their eyes shut. Looks like John, the ferret from CLS, just on his way out. John, one of the regular riders I've had the pleasure of riding with out on the rides, on the CLS rides on Zwift, a regular Zwift leader, and one of the guys that we know is always going to be out helping out the beacons. And as we take a little bit of a look, looks like that group just starting to come back. Looks like one or two have a go heroes, thinking that they're going to get a fast sprint time by riding off the front. Muppet, you don't go quick on your own in a sprint. Way to do a fast sprint, go to the back of the group and ride through the group and use the aerodynamics. Simple physics, simple Zwift riding. And look at that. Everybody in the big group got PBs. Funny that. Anyone think Russ Stewart is doing? Speaking of which, what's his heart rate? 123. Maybe we should have a limit on when we can actually call him. That would be a bit mean on me, but quite fun. He's still alive, Russ?
We're just, mate.
Just about. I think we're almost at the limit of where I can call you. You're about 123 beats per minute in case you can't see the screen and you've got your eyes shut.
Found out I didn't Steve from that years there when he was ready to keep on, but he calmed it down.
Yeah, looks like it's pretty steady at the moment. It is a brutal course. We've got people scattered out and about, but nice blob starting to form around you at the moment.
Yeah, nice blob. I've not spun the camera around yet to see what's happening behind. It's one of them on the back, you know, it's going pretty hard up here now.
Well, we're going to let you get back to it because you're about to take the right-hand turn up the climb, mate. And we'll catch up with you, hopefully, potentially after you get across that finish line.
Yeah, I need that breath to squeeze some more watts, mate.
I think so. Good luck, bud. So great to jump in with Russ out on the gang as well. If you're wondering how we're doing it, the wonders of modern technology, and more importantly, your donations to the DCG gang. The DCG gang is the DONNYCHAINGANG supporters club. It's how we raise a little bit of money to offset some of the costs that Russ and I incur in getting the Facebook page on the broadcast out there. Russ and I, with help of our regular chain gangers and those people who are donating, get the advantage of discount codes. They get all of the links to the ride emailed directly to them. So remember, guys, make sure that if you are able to, you donate and join the gang. You can do it monthly or you can do it yearly. You can do that on the DONNYCHAINGANG page, DONNYCHAINGANG.com. And don't forget, of course, you can also get those links on the Facebook page. The aim, of course, is all about making sure that we can keep the chain gang coming out. It has grown from 20 or 30 riders, which is what we had planned, to well over 300 riders pretty much every time. And that basically means that we are having to work between 3 and 4 days each every single day, and the aim of that is to keep the chain gang rolling, support our riders on the Facebook page. We've got a real community there, and the aim is to keep everybody together. So please, guys, make sure that you get on to the group, and if you have got some money, then you can join for a month or for the year, and we look after you. We get you discount codes, a fantastic struggle, the coal merchandise at a fantastic discount, but you only get that code if you're a member of the Donny Chain Gang. Don't forget, of course, that's going out. The members of the DCG gang are those people who join the sports club, and those are the guys who are keeping the show quite literally on the virtual roads of Yorkshire here on Struggle Week. And I've got to say, a fantastic group still left here as they make their way up through the centre of Harrogate, about to take the right hand turn by the side of the Stray and head back out once again. And yet again, the group proving why we sit as a group. The only people not getting PBs, it's interesting, Connor Swift there not getting a personal best time round here. Definitely one of our regular riders who we know is going to be up there. Connor, of course, the National Road champion, is looking good in this group. A man who we're going to have to watch out for. Other people to keep an eye on: Kieran Smith, a certain Stefan de Jong, Matt Bostock in here, Tobin Horton in here. In the women, Jess is in here. So it looks like Jess Evans in with this group. We're just taking a little bit of a look to see who else is in here. Emma Collier was riding in this group. Looks like Kieran Brown's on the mountain bike today, so just used it for extra. What's as the go is gone. So Russ has pressed the button and he's given them license to do what they want. Now's the time when it's going to rip up. We've got just under one lap left here on the circuit. Who has got the pace to take this out? And you can see the damage, the speed done here on the Struggle Week. There are riders struggling at the back there. The gaps are starting to open. Ben from Vellaviewer pushing up in through this group. Andy Thornley doing the same. Remember, we finish at the line next time. And some of our have a go heroes already being distanced now. Andy Singleton in red is on hold, because he wants to make sure he can bring that red group in. But at the front of the hammer has gone down. This man, Russ Downing, Fonzie, has well and truly opened up the floodgates, because everybody thinks they can take him on. And at the moment, the front is looking pretty brutal up there. Hutchinson, Alex Hutchinson, your winner of the Chain Gang before, up there now. Becky Story just alongside Russ. Definitely a contender over the fastest female rider over the line. Jess Evans, Sarah Lomas, Kim Baptista, all people who we know could be in with a shout when it comes into the finish. Question is, are they going to be the riders who are going to take this out? We're just keeping an eye as Ryan Williams is just being passed here in that light blue kit. Then from Vellaviewer in the yellow and black. Rush just working his way up here. We're going to just take a little bit of a look now. Scott Easter is riding well. Scott has been very close on a number of occasions. Has Scott got the power to stay with them this time round? Scott Easter in just along the side Russ at the moment, and you can see Matt Manicky is not too far behind. Matt doing the business at the moment in a Struggle orange jersey. We're going to try and find him. Might take a little bit of doing. So Matt Manicky is here, the man behind Struggle Events Roots, and good to have Matt here. Victoria, no doubt, telling him to ride faster. The pair of them keeping Struggle Events rolling all the way through what is a very tricky year, but they're looking forward to some fantastic rides coming up. And make sure, of course, you go onto the website. Make sure you get your pictures up on the social media, and make sure you tag Struggle Events. I wonder what Matt's TS score is going to be. Is he going to publish it at the end of this? So Matt Manicky is here, the man from Struggle. A massive thank you to Matt and to Victoria and all the guys at Struggle Events. Don't forget, of course, if you want to go quick, if you want a training plan, Struggle Events are teamed up with Downing Cycling, and the team are working together to bring you a 12-week coaching plan. A really cost-effective way to go faster. Don't buy new kit. Make the main thing on the bike go better. That's you. Coaching works, and it's all about making sure you get that coaching done. Matt, a man who has benefited from that. Now, interesting to see that Mr. Horton is in this chasing group with Matt Mannicky. So Tobin Horton in that Madison Genesis kit here, looking good at the moment from Horton Cycling, and just sitting on Matt Mannicky's wheel pretty much as they come up onto this section of climb. Just in front you can just see Ross up the road. We're going to try and jump up to this group and take a little bit of a look at the pointy end of affairs, and going to jump in with Coleman, because Coleman we know is likely to be right in at the kill. Here he is, Coleman in that light blue and a white kit here. He's got John Wild on his wheels, John in the black kit there. Archaea Samsic Pro, that is Connor Swift coming through in the red and black. You've got the one of the really aggressive riders, Radcliffe, in there. Coleman, known to be really aggressive out on circuit, but always going to be in with a shout as they make their way up here. At the moment, Connor Swift is working well. Looks like Holliman just coming over the top. Richardson's in here. This really is a who's who. Let's just jump up above them and keep an eye on these riders. We're just in with Coleman, who's just in that light blue and white jersey. Alex Hutchinson, a previous winner, as we've come into the finish. Looks like McNamara is in there for the black with the white band right across his shoulders. And again, Connor Swift going up onto the front, really is putting the pressure on here. Connor just kicking on at the moment. And Connor takes him round that corner, and looks to me like Connor really has stretched this out. So taking a look here, Connor Swift leading the group through. Mason Holliman comes around him. Holliman continues to push. Look at those watts per kilo. Holliman going up to nearly 9.5 watts per kilo. If we take a look back from Holliman here, you can see it really is brutal here. They come up over the crest and now onto the descent here. Let's get up in the sky and take a little bit of a view back. So Connor Swift, Mason Holliman, Kieran Smith, then you can see the gaps have opened up. They come over the top. Realistically, it is going to come down to a fight between these 10 riders at the moment. Smith, Holliman, Swift, Foreman, Richardson, McNamara, Wild, Coleman, Radcliffe. Looks like Braybrook is in there. And those are going to be the riders who are going to be fighting it out for the win. They're now onto this fantastically fast descent. We're up at 87, 88, 89k. And we're going to get over 95 this time. We've still got a little bit of a dip to go. But onto the climb they come. So not quite as quick this time. But they have opened up the gap on the chasing group, which is at 25 seconds at the moment. And it looks to me like Joey Walker and Stefan de Jong in that chasing group behind have been distance. Now we're on that climb. We're on the way up towards what is going to be known forever after as Struggle Corner, and these guys are looking like they are riding as a pretty smooth group at the moment. Nobody has gone off the front. Nobody's putting a silly attack at the moment. Behind, Easter has got that gap to 15 seconds with Walker. Looks like Story is in there. That's going to be Becky Story, our leading female rider, just leading that second group up on to the climb there. Stefan Jong is at 13 seconds. I think it is not going to be a pleasant place to be for very long at all. We're just taking a little bit of a look up at Swift and Holliman at the moment. They are the riders who have stretched it out. We're taking a little bit of a look back. It is deceptive. It's a 2% climb here, and we're coming up to Struggle Corner here. You can see where the squirrel is. Now Radcliffe's got on the front. He was sitting and there waiting. He's continued to stretch it out. It looks like Hutchinson, Braybrook, McNamara and Richardson in the hub. Foreman and Coleman are a little bit further back. They're at about 3 seconds, but this is going to close as they come in towards the corner. Round the side of a Struggle Events HQ they come, and as you can take that look back, the gap has opened. We now have 6 riders slightly clear Can they keep this all the way into the finish? The group behind are closing them down, but the big pack number 2 is at 30 seconds. You can just see the yellow beacon about to come round the corner. Let's see who is going to lead this out now. Richardson in the orange on the front. Now comes Smith in the black over the top here, pushing on down. Mason Holliman in the grey camo kit continues to push on. McNamara sitting in the dark blue with a band over the top. John Wild in the black and red comes down. Now remember, this is the big descent down in towards a hairpin turn. Then it's the climb up to the King of the Mountains with that finishing circuit, that little loop still to go. Who is going to take it out? We're riding in with Connor Swift at the moment, the Archaea Samsic Pro, the National Road Champ in the red is in here. But look at this, they're all queuing up to have a pop at him, and he's going to be last man in the bunch as they come on to the climb. Is this tactical move here by Connor as he rolls through, brings that momentum through, in they go. Now the question is, who is going to take it out? Matt Bostock has the fastest men's time, 3:08. Ruth Taylor with a 3:20. But I think that time is going to be blown to pieces on the way up here. And look at Radcliffe go. Radcliffe really has gone for it already. He's jumped on the front here. And if we jump in with Radcliffe, he is starting to stretch this group out. We're on 7% and they're still doing 35 kph. Radcliffe here looking like he means business. He's not used to power up, but look at Holliman coming here. Holliman goes around the side of Radcliffe. Mason Holliman, the man who had that Everesting record, he set it on home moss. This is a much shorter climb, but at the moment Connor Swift trying to chase him down. Holliman has got the feather in. That's 10% off his minuscule body weight. It's only a matter of grams for Mason when he engages that. But Mason Holliman are using it here on that steeper section now. It's coming up to that little roundabout that we talked about previous lap. It levels off and he has ripped the group apart. He has pulled them until the tendons and ligaments have gone pop, because at the moment it looks like Holliman has got the gap 2 seconds to Connor Swift. These are our leading two riders, and you can see at the moment Holliman is looking good on this climb. Can he take this all the way to the top right hand side of your screen? You can see how little distance he has left to go. We're going to go across to that 3D view. If we take a look up from Holliman, you can see that gantry's coming, but so is Connor Swift. It's 2 riders left at the front. There is a chasing group of 8 behind, but they really are going to have to pull their socks up and put in a massive effort to close down these two, because it's now 9 seconds between our leaders. This duo clear at the front. Mason Holliman here on struggle week. He's left them all struggling with the exception of Connor Swift. They've set a new time up there. We knew that time was going to go. It was 3:08. 1 minute 56 seconds. What a time up there. New personal best, and so have everybody behind, but then totally eclipsed here by the time of these 2 riders. What a phenomenal performance going up over the top of that climb, because if you take that time, a 1:56.6 for Mason Holliman and a 1:56.8 for Connor Swift, that really has smashed it to pieces. Now the chasing groups are coming up towards the top. The question is, have we got a new fastest swimming time yet? I don't think we have. Becky Story's likely to set that on the way up and over, but they are going to be chasing in the distance at the moment, all the rest of the riders, because these guys are absolutely hammering at the moment. 55 kph coming into this right hand turn. The gap is at 20 seconds to Radcliffe, and it is breaking up behind. We're going to just try and take a quick look back if we can get ourselves over there, because I think Radcliffe has gone slightly clear here in 3rd place. So just taking a little look, Radcliffe has got 3rd place at the moment. Hutchinson in 4th, and then it is Richardson, while McNamara in a group with Kira Smith at a distance. Looks like Mason Holliman has gone hard again, but he's been responded to by Connor. So these are our 2 leading riders back onto this kick out of the corner, and they're still together, nothing breaking them up. You can just see in the distance, that's Radcliffe trying to close them down. He's at 12 seconds. He's got the pressure on. Can he bring that back? That is a big ask though, with riders of this caliber up at the front. Connor Swift, the National Road champ, riding for Arkea Samsic. Then Mason Holliman, the rider we're in with at the moment, in the grey camo kit here, signed up for the Israeli Startup Nation squad and looking very, very smooth. He takes that spotted jersey just ahead by 0.2 of a second from Connor as they came up and over. They're not going to sprint through here. They're not going to expend that kind of energy behind them, though. You can see that Radcliffe is at 9 seconds, so he's not that far behind. And remember, we will finish at the lap banner as these two riders make their way in. They're going to come underneath the gantry here. The green gantry is the sprint gantry, and we're just taking a little bit of a look back to see where Radcliffe is. He may be fading a little bit as these two continue to set new fastest times on the way through that sprint as well. Connor Swift looks like Mason Holliman coming through. Well, I think the next kicker is going to be the next trigger point. Let's take a little bit of a look at Radcliffe. He's coming around that turn at the moment. Can Radcliffe see them? If we take a look, this is what Radcliffe is going to see. You can just see those two figures in front of him, and they are just starting to stretch back out. 13 seconds at the moment, and Holliman continuing to push on in front. We're on that long descent, and Radcliffe is working hard here. Behind him, it's 16 seconds back to the riders behind. He looks reasonably secure in that third place spot. We can't see the riders behind him, and that means he can concentrate on just getting the power down, trying to close the gap down. John Wild leading the chase. Richardson, McNamara, Hutchinson all in the fight behind. But the battle for the first place spot is going to go down to a battle between these two riders. Connor Swift, no stranger to these roads. Mason Holliman, exactly the same. Both these riders will know these roads inside out. It is a very popular riding spot. It's Harrogate for a reason. There's a reason why struggle events are based there, and it's because it does give such great riding as these two come round together. Where are they going to go? And absolutely nailing this at the moment. It is two riders, Mason Holliman, Connor Swift, and Holliman now pushes on as they come up over the crest of the hill. We're going to drop down towards the pump house turns, the Bath turns. It's the junction as the course almost comes back on itself. We're just taking a look back for Radcliffe. He's at 16 seconds. He's out the running. It's 28 seconds back, so Radcliffe still holding 10 seconds to the chasers behind. Russ down in a third group on the road. I think it's going to be a third or fourth group, in fact, on the road. So Mason Holliman and Connor Swift in group 1. Then it's Radcliffe on his own. He's the second of the groups of riders. Third group, McNamara, Richardson, Wild, Hutchinson at 34 seconds, 50 seconds back to Sawyer, Braybrook, Grindley, Kieran Smith, Smithson, and I think Russ is in that group. But here we go. The riders are coming into the right-hand turn. This is the final kick up to the finish. Is it going to be Connor? Mason took it last time. Remember, these two have history. Rookie error meant that a certain rider got rolled on his way into the line. Is it going to come down to the last few meters? This is where the riders have to play it smart. They're going to see that gantry up in front. Now Holliman goes on the front. Who's your money on? This is where we're going to see Connor or Mason Holliman. Are they going to drag strip it out? At the moment, they're leaving it late. There's no red numbers. In goes the arrow. They've both kicked for it. But look at Connor Swift go here. 12.8 watts per kilo, 13.4, 30.6 from Mason Holliman. He's trying to come back at him. Can he bring him back? Here comes the gantry. And at the moment, Connor Swift is going to take this. He's going to do it. Okay, Samsic have the win in Connor Swift. It is then Mason Holliman in second place. What a ride. We're going to drop back to third place. Fantastic riding by George Radcliffe, holding off the chasing bunch behind. It's going to be Radcliffe, but we're going to drop back. So Radcliffe takes third place. Immediately behind then, it is going to be Wild who's going to get it. Wild comes through the gantry. Then it's Hutchinson, McNamara, Grindley coming through. Let's get a quick run back here as everybody. Dan Hepton comes through, Russ comes through the line, Stephen de Jong. It is a really frantic battle on the way through. Joey Walker just coming up to the line. Walker off the pace here today, but still putting in a lot of power to get himself through the line. Sawyer is here. He's got about 18 seconds gap to the riders behind, and I think it's Ben from Veloviewer who's trying to chase him down. But 15 seconds means that Sawyer should be our next rider in and through that gantry pretty comfortably here. So underneath the gantry you go. Sawyer goes through, being chased here by Ben from Veloviewer. Ben, of course, doing the business with Veloviewer. Massive thank you to them for the graphics. Then it's going to be Coleman, who is really aggressive up on the front. Easter, followed by Stewart. And then it's going to be Becky Story. So Becky Story, the first of our females on the front there, comes through the line. So Story it is who takes the first women's rider through that line. A superb ride by Becky. As she comes in and through to take that. Bostock coming in and Thornley on his way in to the line here. So it looks like Thornley and the guys coming through. Matt Manicky comes through and straight off those pedals he comes behind. Then it's going to be Lloyd on the way in. So Lloyd comes through with Stringer, Hurd. Looks like Pearson, Lavery coming through. Genther, Atkinson's here. Fox, Marion, Coyle coming through, Bundy coming through, Kieran Brown and gang are on the way, and I think Bundy's going to be our next rider on his way in. Big sprint here as he makes his way into the line. He's going to come in clear, a big pack behind. Looks like Kettering is in this group. Kettering works hard to get it. I don't think he quite got it on the line there. I think Coyle and Bundy took that on the way through. We're just working our way down through here. Looks like Jones came in there. Peacock, Neil from the Crosscast is in. Great to see Neil come through. And Tobin Horton coming in behind him. So don't forget the latest episode of the Crosscast is out. And we have our quiz as well, the predictor game, and to see who can get the guesses right now. Jess Evans on the way in, the second of our female riders coming in and through the line there, I think. So well done to Jess, it is. So it's Becky Story of Team On Form, then Jess Evans comes through in second place in the women's competition. We're steadily going to work our way back through. Apologies if we don't get you, but we are going to get Sarah Lomas coming in through the gantry, third place today. And Slowmas, no slow coach, that is for sure. Sarah Lomas takes a third place on the way through. Again, lots of personal best times on the way in towards the line. Just in with Smale at the moment. Looks like Churchill working hard behind. And looks like everybody battling the way towards the line. Really a fast workout for these riders, but Smale is going to be the next rider underneath the gantry. Remember, that gantry is the finishing point that we're looking for. Looks like a certain Mr. Cooper on his way in here, pushing towards that line. Can Cooper take it? Oh, so tight there. Rich Orrell almost had him. Behind it, I think Dickinson on the way in. We're going to drop back to Kim Baptista. Kim, of course, a road professional, a very, very fast rider, and coming up towards the line is going to be Kim Baptista, very talented rider, and great to see Kim pushing on to the line. Fourth place in the women's competition for Kim Baptista. Behind, I think Tom Scubala is unleashing the ferocious power. He's going to see him come in clear of Adi Dench. Just taking a little bit of a look back, it looks like Antonio Nadoni coming in and underneath the gantry there, ahead of Paul Coleman, and Tukey coming through, Wharfdale, Phil Westy, and really is busy at the moment. Rich Hill just coming into the finish. Great ride by Rich here as he comes underneath that world's gantry here, just ahead of JT. So JT pushing on towards the line here. Is he going to get this? He's really is putting in the power. Radcliffe sat on his wheel. Radcliffe's coming at him. Is he going to get him? Not quite, as they come in and through that finish here. Looks like Vin Donahue is through. Then it's going to be Ian O'Brien, our next finisher in through the line. Then Harley Hobbs, I think, is going to take fifth female rider. Just going to keep our eyes out. Ian Taylor on his way in, of course, from 1080, one of our fantastic supporters and responsible for Oakley August last year. Don't forget, we've got lots more giveaways coming up as Ian comes through to finish. Great ride by him. Going to drop back to Runner at the moment, another of our regular riders here on the DONNYCHAINGANG. He makes his way through, just chasing all the way to the line. We're going to drop back, I think, to Crease and Llewellyn here. So Crease working all the way to the line. It's a long string of riders behind. Llewellyn and Ambrose are very tight together here. So Crease is going to come through. Who's going to get this? I think it's going to be Llewellyn just getting it from Ambrose. Behind then it's going to be Gibbons coming through ahead of Brennan. Oh! And I think Brennan just pipped there by Manley on the way into the sprint into the finish there. We're just dropping our way back through these guys. It's really busy on this finish line now here in Harrogate for the Struggle Events week here, and we've had to drop quite a long way back here to get to our next group. That's quite simply because we can't keep up with them as they come into the finish. So none at the moment with Garfort, none in that grey kit here, and it is none who's got the power down first. He's gone clear of Garfort. Garfort starting to sprint with a very low revs. He's not going to pick it up fast enough, I don't think. I think none is going to get this, although Garfort put out some huge watts there at 8.7 watts per kilo, but the revs of none seem coming through clear of Garfort. Indeed, Garfort at about 66 revs per minute there. Then it's going to be Booth Kirk, followed by Swift. Swift comes through, then it's going to be Matt Gleedle, then Mac, Law, and Law's going to be our next rider headed into the line. They are chasing all the way into the line. Then it's going to be McLaughlin behind. So McLaughlin just ahead of Roloff de Troyes. So good to see Roloff out on the bike, and good to see him here on the DONNYCHAINGANG live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, as our riders make their way into the finish here on Struggle Week. Harrogate, of course, the home to Struggle Events. Don't forget, of course, you can enter a team into the Struggle Events. You can join the Downing Cycling and Struggle Events coached riders on the training plan. And don't forget, of course, we have Thursday coming up, a circuit race, 13 laps of the Dutchy circuit here on the DONNYCHAINGANG, live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Now we're going to just drop back to Scotland, because I think Scotland's going to be our next rider in through the line. It is. So Scotland comes in just clear of Holmes, and then it is going to be Bartlett coming through, then Evans, Kennedy, Mosley. Looks like John Paul Wheater on his way in here. So John Paul with a gap over the riders behind, clear of Brooks of Bowl. So we've got Langmead sandwiched in the middle here. So Langmead is going to keep clear of Brooks. Brooks is only at 3 seconds behind. You can see him coming, and he's coming quick here. Brooks is trying to put the hammer down to close the gap down. Here comes Brooks. Is he going to make it? Oh, and he just misses out there on Langmead. He goes through. Then it's Holmes, followed by Walton. Then it's going to be Conor McGuigan here. Conor doing a great job today, getting quicker every time around. Behind then it's going to be Mason coming through. Then Barber, our next rider into the line here on Struggle Events week, the first rider of two. This the big circuit, the 2019 UCI World Circuit, as Owens comes through ahead of Andy Verrill. And it looks like Verrill just, is he going to hold on? Oh, he just gets rolled there. And I think gets rolled by Wallace on his way through behind Tim Howcroft just coming in and through. Then it's going to be Cannons. Mike Killingsworth on his way up towards the line. Let's take a look behind Mike. See who's coming. Morgan, Leary, Rule, Samuel, Kirkham, Andy Horse not too far behind as well. But it's going to be Killingsworth who's going to be our next rider in towards the line. They are chasing behind here in Harrogate at the World's Circuit. But at the moment, I think Killingsworth, a rider from the very start of the DONNYCHAINGANG, is here with us, and he's going to be the next rider in. So well done to Mike as he comes in and through the line. Behind then it is Morgan coming through. Then it is Leary, Rule, Samuel behind. Good riding by Rule. And then it's going to be Ruth Taylor. So Taylor, our next rider on the way into that gantry, holding off Andy Hawes, who comes with a big sprint. Then Joe Jarvis behind. So Ruth Taylor, then Andy Hawes, Joe Jarvis, Dave Hopkinson, Turnbull Johnson comes through, Cootie, Handley, Sonia Inslee's in, Hayward's on the way in and through. Looks like young Taylor is going to be our next rider in here. Another of our youngsters here on the Donny Chain Gang comes through ahead of the best hair on the Chain Gang Day award going to Holbrook. Don't forget, make sure that you send us a summary picture of your ride, including that TSS score for a chance to win a men's and a women's ride on the Donny Chain Gang. And don't forget, if you're a member of the DCG Gang, the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, you can get yourselves a fantastic package from the guys at Struggle Events. Now, we have a little bit of a gap, which means we're going to try and get hold of Russ. I'm not sure whether he is still alive at the end of the phone line, but we'll see if we can get hold of Fonzie himself. Are you there, Russ?
Good evening.
How are you, mate? How are the legs?
All right, at 85 watts and 99 revs per minute, 99 beats per minute. Just going down the descent after Otley Road there type thing.
Yeah, just got to warm those legs down, haven't you? You just got to take it nice and steady.
Just trying to get rid of the watts that I've just squeezed through. Oh, I'm not hard and wild.
A really, really frantic finish there, but absolute class from Connor and from Mason.
Yeah, you could see when those boys went, it was already strung out, and then they went again, and then went again. I think the second or third group was still struggling to hold the wheel, but it's all good fun, and some great improvements there. You can see people really holding on in there, and a couple of weeks ago they were nowhere to be seen type thing, so it's all good. Everyone said it was probably the hardest gang for a while, but it wasn't all over the shop, it was pretty controlled, but just really, as they say, pretty squeezed it. And that's what Yorkshire's like. And, it was good fun.
Definitely good fun and good to watch. So well done to everybody who's finished so far. Still plenty of riders coming in. We're going to jump back in with them. We're going to let you cool down, Russ. So well done. And don't forget, of course, you need to keep those legs moving because you're going to need them on Dutchy Circuit. Just give us a quick preview of the circuit for Dutchy. It's one you and I have ridden round together virtually before.
Yeah, we've just actually did it. I think there was a few people in the bunch saying, "Oh, I hate this climb," and I was going to say, "Well, you got it 13 times on Thursday if you ride it." I thought I better not. Yeah, it's the last corner that then goes up towards the sprint. So we're going to do that, and 13 times through the sprint with a few little kickers. So it's going to be the same again. We're going to try and control it for half the ride, and then let it go. So it should be good fun.
It should be. Just watching Andy Singleton come in, we've got to say a massive thank you to Andy, who's been out. He's had that group and brought them around through the group. Around the circuit, done a great job.
Yes, he was giving some great orders there. He's great. He knows Swift. He knows how to control the peloton. From what I see, he's a chief domestic out in New York with the Struggle Events 2 years ago. So he knows what he's doing, and he's done a great job there. We've still got a few people out on the circuit, but chapeau Andy there, really.
Yep, definitely, and it does turn into a second gang in a gang. So well done to Andy. Russ, get that recovery drink, that OTE recovery drink down your neck, ready for Thursday. I'll catch up with you a little bit later, I'm sure. And thanks very much, Russ.
Yeah, good job, Matt, and good job everybody else on the gang. Brilliant, thanks a lot.
So great to hear from Russ at the end of the Chain Gang. And a big thank you to everybody who's made it possible. It's your donations by being part of the DCG gang that makes it possible for us to keep on improving week on week. We've got lots more improvements to come, and we're introducing them as fast as we can, literally as fast as funds allow. Russ and I, of course, bankrolling the Chain Gang from its inception, and we've fortunately been helped out by our fantastic riders. Without you guys, we just wouldn't be where we are now. And we've got to say a massive thank you to everybody who's donated, whether you're a new rider or somebody who's been in from the start. Your donations really do make a difference, and without them we just can't do this, and we can't continue to do this. So a massive thank you to every one of you. Now Mr. Beatty on his way in to the finish, pushing in just in front of Marriott here. Marriott's going to be our next rider working through that line. Don't stop pedaling before the line, mate. The golden rule, always dangerous, and especially if you're on camera. So we drop back now to our next rider. That's going to be Blair. Still quite a few people out and round circuit. It's a really brutal circuit. It's hard in real life. Yorkshire roads are tough, and definitely tough out there today for our riders who are out on the Donny Chain Gang. But nobody said it's easy. It ain't easy. It's the Donny Chain Gang. So Blair on the way through the line here. Our next rider in as Struggle Events number 1 on the Struggle Events week. This is Tim Gould. It is the other Tim Gould. This is the rock climbing Tim Gould rather than the world champion cyclist Tim Gould, apparently. A father of Ben, and doing a rather smooth job in through the line here at the World Champs in Harrogate. Good ride, mate. As all of our riders continue around this circuit. Remember, we are back on Thursday. Make sure you register, please. We do need to keep a track of the numbers. It does help us with the chain gang, with getting offers, discount support. It helps us keep Swift keeping on helping us. And we've got to say a massive thank you to Swift. Without this fantastic platform, we can't bring you the Donny Chain Gang. And the guys are really good to us and look after us. Russ and myself, with a long relationship with Swift, really does help when it comes to putting on the Donny Chain Gang, and it certainly makes life a little bit easier when we're getting the links through. Don't forget, of course, if you want the links delivered direct to your email inbox, make sure that you go on to the DCG Gang, the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, and join up. You can join up for a month. It's £20 for the month, £200 for the year. But for that, we get you lots of great discounts. We get you special offers. We've got some great giveaways coming up that are going to be exclusive to the gang members. But today, we're giving away rides on the Struggle Events to our riders across the ride, and that is going to be for the riders who've done the hardest ride, and we're going to look at the finishing scores on the door. So please remember, guys, when you finish your ride, get that ride summary up, take a picture of it, and then get it onto social media, tag in Struggle Events and Donny Chain Gang, and we will be having a look to see who's blown themselves into little pieces, pretty much, out on circuit. Now, Rose on the way in to the finish here. They saw a 1% drag up to the finish, over and done with. As through the World Championships banner goes Rose, being chased here by Taylor. Taylor from Bolsover District. Very nice red and black Pinarello there, complete with Campag wheels as well. Looks like Boras. Very nice, super slick combination. If you're going to have a Pinarello, I guess you've got to probably put Campag on it, let's face it. Now, back to two of our regular riders. This is Johnny Two Dogs and Martin Bolt. Now, Johnny Two Dogs here is a maestro with an airbrush. At some point, when gigs resume and I actually have any kind of proper work, I'm going to be taking my camper in for Mr. Two Dogs, to Johnny Lightfoot, to do a paint job on it, because it's looking rather sad and sorry for itself, and to be honest, at the moment it's going to stay that way. On his wheel, Martin Bolt, the man who has been our red beacon more times than anybody else, although that might be in danger of changing. And Martin Bolt in the Peugeot kit, just rolling Johnny on the way towards the line and getting a wave in as well. Sneaky Mr. Bolt, I don't know. Nice riding, mate. So in and through goes Johnny and Martin, as we see Finch now on his way towards the line, and looks clear behind, pretty clear in front. Nice smooth ride to the line for Finch and away from Finch. This is getting a habit. I'm loving this. Let's see how many people we can get waves for. Generally when we're at events we try and get high fives off the kids on Go Ride when they're racing into the finish, but if we can get waves on Swift as riders come and get on camera, that will do us the business. That would be really, really cool. Not sure Connor and Mason had any energy left to do that on the way through. Now, across to another of our regular riders. Good to see James looking smooth on circuit. Nice pedal revs here. The revs at 85 revs per minute, 153 beats a minute, 175 watts there. And James on the way in to this finishing line here at the World Championships in Harrogate. And James keeping that smooth cadence, 90 revs per minute on the way into the line here. Great riding by James, who comes through the finish here, looking good at the finish, keeping those revs nice and high, keeping it smooth all the way through. We're just dropping back now to McConville. We've got McConville, Mansfield and James out on circuit. And don't forget, we have some great weeks coming up. We're currently in the middle of Struggle Week. We have Pretty Gritty, who will be with us in February. Caroline Mansfield, the head of Pretty Gritty, out on circuit with Lucy Heseltine James and Caroline, a regular on the Chain Gang, as well as out in real life. And Pretty Gritty helping us out with a week in February, and looking forward to that week as well. Lucy Heseltine James of the Alliance Road, it is Alliance MTB coaching. Lucy is a part of the physio team there as well as the coaching team, and doing a great job of keeping pretty much everybody together. Chris Heseltine James has done one FTP test too many, so at the moment just out of action. We wish you well, mate. I know why you're not quite with us and in the land of the living, but hopefully you'll be back on the wheels soon. Two of our regulars on the Chain Gang just behind McConville, who's on his way into the line. Don't forget, of course, we have coming up in February and March 2 Women's Wednesdays in each month on the 10th and 24th of February, and of March the rides which are in weeks 2 and 4 of both February and March are women only, and not the mixed Chain Gang as we have now, and that is to give the female riders a chance to shine, to have our female pros on the front. Remember, we've had some great rides from our professional riders on the way in and through the finish with some great rides. We've seen some incredible sprints from people like Frankie Hall. We've had the Tour de France stage winner in the shape of April Tacey, bringing us in to the finish and having a great chat with April on the women's special, the very first one we did between Christmas and New Year. The second one was a couple of weeks ago, and of course don't forget we've got 2 more in February and 2 in March. They are Women's Wednesday, so if you're joining the ride, don't forget, of course, guys, you can't join on Women's Wednesdays. It is female riders only on Women's Wednesdays, and I'm sure we'll see Caroline Mansfield and Lucy Heseltine James here, who are doing a great time trial here just underneath the sprint line. And I think Heseltine James getting a nice PR there, sat on the wheels, doing a great job riding with Caroline. So Caroline just on the front. Caroline, of course, a regular cyclocross and mountain bike rider as well as road rider. Some great pictures from Caroline out in the Pretty Gritty kit, out on the snowy roads just south of here in Leicestershire. It's rolling down there. Anyone who says it's flat is kidding. Now, Lucy Heseltine James just in front, taking up the running in the blue. Caroline Mansfield in the orange. So whilst they're on the way in, I want to say a massive thank you if you've been watching us so far on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. If you subscribe to it, you don't need to find the link every time. Don't forget, of course, if you want all the links to the events delivered direct to your inbox, join the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, along with great discounts and giveaways on the gang. You'll find yourselves getting all the links, a little bit of insider information and a preview of the courses, links direct to VeloViewer on there as well, so that you can go in and check out exactly what the circuit is like that we're going to be heading to, how far it is as well. If you're just joining for the ride, No problems at all the riders get to join the ride for free, whether you join for one or you join the gang as a supporter member. All the rides are for free and you can join one ride at a time. Generally those links come out with a minimum of 24 hours prior to the ride, but you do need to keep your eye out. Same link to get in, go in via our ticket box. Although it is free, you can donate when you join a ride, and we do encourage you to do so because it keeps the show on the road, both the YouTube broadcast and of course the ride, the Facebook page, the support that's out there, and of course Russ and me being able to buy things as we keep on blowing up bits of kit within the studio and Russ's pain cave. It is a fairly regular occurrence as we push the limits of the tech, constantly wanting to improve what we bring you live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. The coverage from the Donny Chain Gang coming to you live, and of course you can get it back on demand on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. I want to say a massive thank you to all the guys who've looked after the Chain Gang riders, but particularly this week to Matt and Victoria from Struggle Events. Don't forget, make sure that you get your ride summary up on there with the TSS score onto social media. Make sure you get yourselves onto their pages. Remember, if you're a member of the DCG gang, we have an exclusive package for you with a great discount available if you are a member of the DCG gang. Don't forget, of course, the rides are now open. Struggles Dales and Struggle Moors, the two key rides to join, and of course the two rides which are going to take you up some of the best hills and on some of the best roads in Yorkshire. Struggle Dales including climbs like Greenhound, Malham, Park Rash, as well as Hartwith, Two Stoops and Trapping Hill. Struggle Moors, Boltby Bank, Carlton Bank, the Côte de Grosmont, the Glaisdale Horror, Rosedale Chimney. On the way back in, Rosedale Chimney particularly horrible, but they are all really brutal, and some 33% climbs in there which are going to test riders on them. Struggle Moors is on the 4th of July and Struggle Dales on the 23rd of May, and all the details at www.ridethestruggle.com. If you think you're going to be out of shape, then what you need is a coaching plan, because it's a way to go fast, quick, much better than buying bits for your bike. Get yourself some TLC from a coach, and the way to do that you can find on the Struggle pages the link to the Downing Cycling coaching teams program. Make sure you get yourself on there and you'll be able to get yourself coached for the 12 weeks to get you into the best shape going. It is really worth doing, guys. Every penny in that is going to work, and it's definitely the most cost effective way to make you go quick. Now, Caroline Mansfield definitely going quick up here, just starting to open the gap on Lucy Hesselstein-James on the way towards the line. Mansfield uber competitive on the bike when she's out and racing. In fact, the whole Mansfield family, if you add in Neil's genes and Caroline's genes together, you've got the most competitive family in the world ever.com. I'm glad I don't even play Tiddlywinks in their household, to be honest. Neil and I competed on the Crosscaster for the best predictions. Caroline and our ride leader on the women's chain gang, that's Emma, competed out on the cross and mountain bike circuits, and always great to see Caroline in action as she comes in through the line here in Harrogate. And watch out for Pretty Gritty in action when we go over for Pretty Gritty week on the Donny Chain Gang. Next in is going to be Lucy Hesselstein-James. Lucy did a great job, really is getting to be at home on the Chain Gang, and great to see Lucy going there. That TSS score is going to be humongous. So Lucy through the finishing line here. So we have got to say a massive thank you to everybody who has ridden out on the circuit. It's been a great first ride out here on Struggle Week on the Donny Chain Gang. Looking forward to Thursday. Remember, 13 laps of the Duchy circuit. So from me, Matt Payne, from Russ, who is recovering from today's ride, and everybody at Downing Cycling and Full Speed Events, and everybody from Struggle Events, massive thank you for riding, massive thank you for watching, and we will see you on Thursday on the Donny Chain Gang.